Good morning, dear participants. Welcome to the last day of our 6-day EFDP program. Today, we have with us Mr. Kadapa Sandeep, who is Deputy Manager in Validation Department, Biocon Biopharmaceuticals, Bangalore. So, before his session, I request Ms. Sahiti to give a brief introduction about him. Sahiti?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please start, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So, good morning to all the participants and the panelists. So, today we are having Kadapa Sandeep, sir. Sir has a very vast determination and creative instinct, and sir has a vast experience in validation and quality checking department, compliance department. Sir has completed his graduation and post-graduation in JSS College of Pharmacy, Mysore, and sir started his career with Biocon Limited, and currently sir is working as Deputy Manager in Validation and Compliance Department in Biocon Limited. And in this Biocon Limited, sir has various responsibilities for validating. Majorly, sir role will be in the Validation and Compliance Department. And sir has published various technical papers in national and international journals. Sir has completed post-graduation diploma in computer applications with various applications. Sir has achieved Best Performer Award from Biocon Business Unit Head and Vice President in the August 2014. And Sir has achieved Award of Excellence for Outstanding Contribution towards Regulatory Submission for Biosimilar Transdermals, from CEO and Joint Managing Director in 2016, and has achieved BioPacer Award and Award of Excellence in 2017. And Sir has achieved BioContribute Award for Scientific Excellence and Teamwork in 2018. And Sir has successfully faced US FDA, EMA, PMDA audits at Biocon. And Sir has attended various certified training programs. With this brief introduction, I would request Sandeep Sir to start the session.
Sir, you may please share your screen.
Yeah. Hi, good morning all. Today I'll brief you regarding validations and qualifications. So I'll just share my screen.
Yes, sir, the screen is
Okay, we'll start the session. So before we go into this topic, I'll just tell you validation, actually you no need to do particularly for the equipment or anything after you procure. Actually this process starts starting from your requirement to till you use the equipment, everything comes under validation. So suppose if you want to buy a new equipment, first a user, they prepare their user requirement specifications. So based on the user requirement specifications, you will send your specifications to vendors. So vendors, they will prepare equipment according to your requirements. So they will send you a qualification document called a design specification. So you will verify the design specifications against your requirements. So based on your requirements and based on the vendor what is capable of doing or what is the possibilities based on your requirements, you will prepare a design qualification. So after design qualification, the actual validation execution process will start. So it is starting from your requirement to till end of the equipment usage. everything comes under validation. So these are all some definitions regarding to validation. So what is a validation? Actually, it is action of proving in accordance with principles of GMP. So any procedure, any process, equipment, material, activity, or system, actually, if whatever your expected results are achieved or not, that you will verify during validation. So this validation program, actually, it is not like once you have done for one equipment, it will not end up there. Actually, you have to do periodical validations, so re-validations, re-qualifications to keep that equipment in its entire lifetime. So as per the FDA, the definition for this validation is if establishing the document evidence which provides a high degree of assurance that specific process will consistently produce a product predetermined specifications and quality attributes. So as per FDA, it says like you have to prove a documented evidence, so which assures the consistency of the process. So consistency, normally initially you produce by taking minimum 3 runs on any equipment. So to prove the consistency of any equipment, you have to verify in some certain frequency for lifetime. For some equipments, based on the guidelines, they have given some specific timelines saying minimum in this timeline or in this duration, you have to validate the equipment. So for some equipments, you can by usage of that equipment or what is your purpose of that equipment, based on that you can design your like frequency of that equipment. So I'll tell you what is the qualification then. So action of proving that premises, systems and items of the equipments work correctly and actually lead to the expected results. So qualification is the initial process. So once you get the equipment and you do the qualification activity, as part of as FDA says, you have to maintain the consistency. So as part of that, you will carry out this requalification process with a periodical frequency. So what is the process validation? Then the process validation is defined as collection and evaluation of data from the process, the design process, states through commercial production, which establishes the scientific evidence that process capable consistently delivering the quality products. So as previously I told you regarding the equipment. So not only the equipment, even with respect to your process also, you have to validate at certain frequency, saying whether you can improve the process or whether you can redesign the process to achieve maybe more good results than expected currently. So always process validations will be done as part of, before you go for actual commercial, we do process validations. Then based on the process validation, that process will be used for actual commercial activities. So where this validation came from and why we are doing these validations. Actually this validation, it is began in somewhere around 1970s. So initially this validation started with sterilizations. Now actually it evolved into product, process, facility. So now we are doing product validation by taking the process thing, and in case of facility, we qualify facility validations, facility related utilities qualifications. All these things comes into picture. So why actually we have to validate? If we validate, it will assure us the quality and it will give the regulatory requirements. So we may be supplying to different regulatories, like different countries. So different countries, they will be having their regulatory bodies. So we have DCGI in India, drug. So like that in US we have FDA, in Europe we have EMA, in Japan we have PMDA. So these kind of regulatory bodies, they control in their country what are all the pharmaceutical products we are supplying to them and what are all the products they are using, whether they are meeting the minimal requirements for the patient safety or not. They will define in their regulations. If we have to send our medicines to them, then we have to comply their guidelines. So your validation will prove and it will give confidence to those regulatory bodies saying your process is validated, your equipment is validated. Yes, they are giving consistent results. So even the validation, it will reduce the cost also. And it is actually the law. So by enforcement, you have to do validations for the equipments if it is used for any human applications. So what is the benefit of doing validation? So it will reduce the cost by reducing rejections, reworks, and it will give reliance on process controls, and it will reduce the downtime. Why these rejections, all these things will reduce? Because if you prove in your validation saying your equipment is performing perfectly, and if you have any minor defects or something during validation, you can find out. Because in case of regular usage, you may not be doing all the tests required for the equipment, but you will do some minimal verifications before you carry out regular activities. But if you actually do validation, so you will be having some set of procedures to do this validations. So in that tight controls, you will actually come to know if there are any minor problems in the equipment or anything. So even in case of process, if you do, it will reduce the rework also. So when it goes wrong, so when validation goes wrong, what will happen? It will lose the reliance on the product testing. Then it will lose the confidence and possibility of adulterated products. And you will get observations are 483s. 483s are given by regulatory bodies like FDA, EMA. They issue the 483s saying your requirements are not meeting. So it is a kind of warning letter. So what is the terminologies of validation? So as I told you initially, it starts from user requirement specifications first. So user has to give, whoever the person wants to use this equipment, they have to give their specifications. Then design qualification comes into picture, because whatever specifications you have given, for that specifications, vendor is able to make the equipment or not, they will give you in design specification. So by comparing your user requirement and vendor design, you will prepare a document that is called design qualification. So once the design qualification is done, you will freeze the equipment layout or equipment, whatever design you wanted to, that will be freezed. Then what is the impact assessment comes into this terminology, because you have given some specifications, but vendor cannot make whatever you have given in all the aspects. So in such case, you will do impact assessment. If that option is not there, what is next? What controls you have? How much risk you will be having? What is the impact on the process if that process, whatever you have asked for, is not there? So that you will do under impact assessment. Then once equipment comes into the factory, you will do factory acceptance testing. Then once the equipment factory testing is done, then that will come to the actual installation location. So there we will do, they say it as a site acceptance test. So where you are installing the equipment, In those locations, you will do this testing. So under site acceptance test, your installation qualification, your operational qualification, all these things will come into picture. So in validation, the key criteria and main thing is calibration. Why calibration is so important? Because you are doing validation, so you will be having some master equipments or some testing equipment to verify your equipment is working fine. So suppose you think you have a heating bath, so you have to verify your equipment is working fine. So you have to keep a thermometer to see whether the temperature is achieved or not. The thermometer is considered as a master equipment or testing equipment that is used for validating your heating bath. So if you don't calibrate that thermometer and it will give wrong results, you will think your validation is failure. So calibration, actually, it is a very key part in case of validation. First thing comes into picture when you say validation, you should be in the calibrated state. Then the calibrated equipments should be used for the validation purpose. So if you don't have like even in your college premises, you can do calibrations. If you don't have any direct master equipment to do calibration, you can take a reference standard, and with that you can calibrate. Say you take one more thermometer, you verify the temperature. With the same thermometer also, you verify the temperature. You see both the results are matching or not. If they are not matched, you calibrate or you make the auto adjustment so that for that temperature, both the equipment shows the same temperature. So in that way also you can do calibration by taking a reference standards. So then site acceptance testing, as I told you, site acceptance test, it includes the installation qualification and operational qualification. Both together, it comes as a package under site acceptance testing. Then you have to prepare standard operating procedures. So once your operational qualification is completed, or in some cases, when you are doing operational qualification itself, you have to display standard operating procedure, how to operate that equipment. Once the standard operating procedures are ready, you will actually do the performance qualification by verifying what output your equipment is giving. So only difference in case of operational and performance qualification is, in operational qualification, actually you will see whether the equipment is working or not by operating it. But in case of performance, you will actually measure the output of that equipment to see what your expected performance the equipment is giving or not. You will do in performance qualification. Then you have process validation. Once your equipment is qualified, now you have to use it for some process. So first thing you have to consider is the process validation. So in that case, you will see the equipment operating set parameters, whatever you have defined during performance, that you will fine tune, or you will verify, is it suitable for your process or not. Suppose you have to do some distillation. So you have done performance qualification for a small heating bath for 50 degree, and your process is actually distillation, you need 100 degrees. So that is what you have to verify, is the equipment is suitable for your process or not. You will verify in the process validation. Then lastly, change control comes into picture. As I told you, if the equipment settings are not meeting to your process, you will take a change control and you will change the settings in the performance qualification, and based on the change control criticality, you will say whether you have to repeat the performance or you can fine tune the settings, and you can perform the process validation. Then I'll brief you regarding user requirement specifications. So it is actually a description of requirements. So the facility in terms of product to be manufactured and required throughput and conditions in which the product should be manufactured. So where you are going to manufacture, there they will give the description of requirements for their manufacturing process suitability. That's what I told you. You procured some equipment and it is not suitable for your process. To avoid all these things, before you procure your equipment, you will give your requirements to the vendors or whoever is manufacturing the equipment. For them, you will give your requirements. So based on your requirements, they prepare the equipment, or they will design those equipments. So in case of design qualification, as I told you, it is verification of your design specifications by the manufacturer with your user requirement specifications, whether as per your requirement they designed or not, that you will verify during design qualification. Then impact assessment, it is evaluating the impact of operating, controlling, alarming and failure condition of a system on quality of a product. So in case of impact assessment, not only during failure you will verify the impact, before actually you are installing the equipment in the facility, you will verify what are all the process associated with that equipment and what controls you have if any process failures. Actually, they'll do impact assessment based on FMEA tool. So this FMEA tool is failure mode effective analysis. So before you get the failure, previously, before you install the equipment itself, you will list out what are all the possibilities of failure, what can fail. If that fails, what is the impact on your process or what is the impact on your procedure, that you will do in this impact assessment. Then factory acceptance testing. So once your design qualification is ready, based on your requirements, vendor prepared one equipment, you will go to the factory. In the factory itself, they will verify the major components, and they will do some minimal qualification requirements to prove as per your requirement equipment is designed and it is working fine. To do these things, we go to their factory and we have to verify by doing this factory acceptance test. So if there are any minimal fine tuning or something required, they will do at the factory itself. Because once you procure the equipment into your facility, their engineers do not come and work in your facility to do the changes. So before we get the equipment, we will go to their facility. We will verify the equipment what you wanted to purchase, and we will do this factory acceptance test. In factory acceptance test, normally they'll give some kind of punch list, they say. So the punch list, what it contains is you will verify the equipment and you will give some points to the vendor. So these are all the problems you can rectify, or these are all the improvements you can be done before you ship the equipment to the factory. So this punch list will be closed before your equipment reaches to your facility. So it is a mutual agreement by factory person and by the user, so that you have to do these changes. Yes, this change is possible, like that they will agree. So it's a kind of mutual agreement, and what changes to be done, that will be mentioned in this factory acceptance punch list. So once your equipment is reached, you have to install the equipment into your facility. So after installing the equipment into facility, you will do installation qualification. Actually, instead of saying in form of definition, what you will do simply in the installation qualification is you actually see what are all the components present in the equipment. In installation qualification document, actually you will verify what is the equipment code, what are all the number of units present, what are all the associated components connected into it, and how many connections are there, or how many number of sub components are there. Suppose you take one simple equipment as autoclave. So during installation qualification of autoclave, what you will verify is how many number of compressor connected to that, and what kind of material has been used for this manufacturing process, and their measurements, what is the chamber size. So the accurate measurements for all the parts are accurate specifications of each part. It will be mentioned in the installation qualification. Then what is the purpose of installation qualification? Actually, it is to establish the critical components are installed correctly and accordance with the design documentation and requirements. So based on purchase orders or based on the contracts, the supporting documentation is in place and suitable quality. So in installation qualification, actually we will verify based on your purchase request. You have given purchase request to a vendor. So a vendor supplied. So whether he supplied correctly as per your purchase list or not, you will verify in the installation qualification. So in this installation qualification, we will actually categorize the equipments based on its criticality, whether the equipment is directly impacting system or indirectly impacting system or no impacting system. That actually we'll identify during installation qualification. So how you will categorize this is, if your equipment is directly associated with your process, and if that equipment is not working, your process will fail, or that kind of criticality is there, that we will take it as a directly impact system. So if you have any small minor equipment which is actually connected to the direct impact system, suppose you say you have autoclave, that is your direct impact system, because through that you will take the sterile material. So a small pressure gauge connected to autoclave, it will become as an indirect impact system because it is connected to the direct impact system. But actually that failure will not lead to failure of the autoclave, but it will be having some consequences that will be listed out anyways during risk assessment. So what this IQ protocol will be having? So it will be having approval page and objects. So what for you wanted to do this installation qualification? Then what is the system you are using for that description, and responsibilities of persons, like different departments comes into one side to do this installation qualification. Suppose if you say you are installing a filling machine, so different departments comes at one place, that is your actual user will be there, your validation team will be there, then your quality assurance team will be there, your engineering team will be there. So who is responsible to do what activity, you will actually give in this responsibility section. Then you will give acceptance criteria, what is your requirement, whether that acceptance is meeting or not, you will verify in the actual installation qualification report. Then you will be having this engineering documentation requirements, then records of signatures. So whoever is the person going to participate in this qualification, their records of signatures will be taken first, saying these persons are trained on this qualification and he is having authority to actually to execute this installation qualification. That kind of training records will be attached to this qualification. Then you have qualification test equipment or instrumentation list. So as I told you, like if you want to qualify any equipment, so a sub equipment or like your measuring instrument, that list of measuring instruments should be given in the installation qualification. Then utility verification. So for some bigger equipments, you have to connect so many utilities. So that means like you have to connect power, you have to connect water, steam. So many kind of utilities comes into picture. So those utilities you will verify in the installation qualification. Then what are all the control systems you have, that also will be verified during installation qualification. Then different instruments, equipments, pipings. So for the pipings, all these things in installation qualification, you will be having a drawing called PNID. So this is piping and instrumentation drawing. So that actually gives you which pipeline or which line is connected to which end, and from where to where the flow happens. All these things will be defined in the piping and instrumentation drawings. Then you have to give specifications of your equipment. Finally, you will conclude whether you are meeting all the specifications or not. And you will be having a section called references. So in references, actually you will give, if you are doing qualification as per some guideline, you can give guideline references here, or based on your factory acceptance test. If you are doing installation qualification, you will give that factory acceptance references. Then if anything is not meeting, or if anything has to be changed, a change control will be initiated, and based on that change control, you will do modifications in the equipment if necessary. Then finally, you will attach all these documents to this installation qualification. So this is a simple example for the basic installation qualification. So one manufacturing vessel, if you take, where in that vessel, you will be formulating your solutions for your filling process. So in that case, what are the parameters you will verify is, so that the vessel is meeting the design specifications. So as per design, whether it is meeting or not. So if vessel is having agitator or mixing thing, so you will see that design specifications. So for that agitator or mixer, whatever the motor connected, it is that motor earthing is done. Then if the motor overcurrent device set to correct setting or not. So actually for any equipment installation, these are all called as punch list, they say. So they will verify this minimal requirements, whether they met or not. They will verify under each equipment during its installation qualification. So finally, if you go for IQ protocol approval, then you will execute the protocol. If any process or anything is deviating, and if it is not meeting, you will initiate a deviation, and in the deviation you will do investigation what actually caused that failure, and you will take certain steps either to rectify that or either to modify that. You will give as a corrective and preventive actions as part of deviations. Based on that, your further qualifications will be continued. So once the installation qualification is successfully completed, you will actually do the operational qualification. So This is the document verification with all aspects of the facility, utility, or equipment that can affect the product quality, operates as per intended throughput at all anticipated ranges. So actually I told you initially, once your installation is done, during your actual operational qualification, you will just verify whether the equipment is running or not. That you will actually verify during this operational qualification. So what is the purpose of this operational qualification? So it is for the documented testing that all critical components and direct impact systems are capable of operating. So different components will be verified in this operating qualification to see all the components are doing their job. Just say you have taken a manufacturing vessel. So during your process, you are pressurizing that vessel. So that vessel will be having a safety valve. So at this pressure, the safety valve should open. So that kind of test actually you will do in operational qualification, whether it is able to operate or not. So you will give certain pressures or something to induce that valve, and you will see that is in operational condition or not. You will verify in this qualification. Then in operational qualification protocol, it is having same structure like installation qualification. Only difference in operational qualification is you will be actually doing alarms and interlock test and operational testing, capacity testing, power failure testing. So in installation qualification, you no need to switch on the equipment at all. You will actually see the components are present or not. You will verify in the installation. But in case of operational, you will verify the components are working or not. You will actually verify during this operational qualification. So once your operational qualification testing is done, you will verify standard operational procedures, or you will implement the standard operation procedures. This is how you have to use this equipment. So you will give certain steps. So based on that, that equipment will be used in the future process. So same way, if you have anything is not meeting, you will take a change control and you will do modification accordingly. So as part of attachments to this, you will actually attach the printouts of the equipment where you have run the equipment and equipment is working and it is running like its basic requirements are met or not. You will attach those printouts to this operation qualification. So example for this manufacturing vessel, if you have to do operation qualification, so all the installation qualification is completed or not is the first step. So before you do any equipment operation qualification, you have to verify your installation qualification is completed or not. And then the system is clean or not, is it free from the dirt, then the direction and rotation of agitator is correct. Actually in installation qualification, we verified the agitator is present or not. In operational qualification, we are verifying whether the agitator is rotating or not, or is it in correct rotation, the correct direction is there. That you will verify in the operational qualification. Then you have to pressurize the vessel and you have to record the pressure drop for 10 minutes. So you give some certain time period and you give some certain pressure and you verify your vessel is not having any leakage. So because this is manufacturing vessel, we are verifying this test. If you have any other equipment for intended purpose, you will verify for that intended usage whether the equipment is able to meet the requirements or not. You will verify during operational qualification. Then it comes to performance qualification. So this performance qualification actually will be verified by all the regulatory bodies, because that is the core part of your equipment. once your installation, operation, everything is done, during your performance qualification, you will establish certain settings or set points, so that settings or set points will be actually used for your manufacturing process. So as I told you, the purpose of this performance qualification is to actually set what is your requirements. For that, what is the set points you have to give, that will be decided during this performance. So even performance qualification protocol will be having same sections, but the difference in operational and performance is you will actually verify PQ test plan. So in operational qualification, you verified whether the equipment is rotating or not, whether the motor is rotating or not, you verified in operational qualification. In case of performance, actually you will measure the rotations, whether as per your set. If you say somewhere around some 50 rotations per minute you have given as a set point to the motor, so you will use a testing equipment called a tachometer, and with the tachometer you will actually measure whether the output is given same as per your set point or not. That will be verified during performance qualification. So in the performance qualification, actually you will give certain acceptance criteria saying if you set 100 RPM, every time exactly 100 may not come. So there you have to give plus or minus what is the variability allowed, that will be given during performance qualification. That is based on your calibration. That's why I told you calibration is the core part for this validation, because calibration will give you what is the range of each instrument. So that range will be given as a plus or minus variation in the performance qualification. Then qualification and validation principles. So these are all the actually essential part of GMP, and manufacturer to identify what qualification, what validation is required. So to prove that critical aspects of work are controlled and key elements of qualification validations defined and documented. So actually this is a good manufacturing practices requirement. So if you have established some good manufacturing practices, to achieve those practices, you will verify actually in validation whether your equipment is capable of giving that practices, that you will actually verify during this validations. So qualifications and validation scope, it is not only limited to equipment, it is even for the supporting utilities. And if you are doing manufacturing in a facility, even for that area, for the facility premises also, you have to do validation. So the main thing after performance qualification, you will actually do performance validation. So I told you this performance validation actually is to verify the equipment suitability to your process, that you will decide in case of performance process validation. So first thing comes in this for the planning. So qualification and validation should be done in accordance with ongoing program. So it is not only initially you will do qualification and validation for anything. With certain frequency, you have to repeat this qualification so that your equipment is maintained throughout its lifetime, to prove that you will actually give certain frequency based on the criticality. So how you will do this periodical validation is, you have to prepare first validation master plan, validation protocols, validation reports, then standard operating procedures. What is this validation master plan is? So validation master plan will be having all the equipments in your facility, whatever is present, that you will actually include as a list of equipments under validation master plan. Once you have included all the equipments in the master plan, so for the each equipment, you will identify whether it is directly impacting system or indirectly impacting system or no impacting system. So based on the impact, again, you will identify in the validation master plan at what frequency you have decided to verify this certain performance parameters that you will define under this validation master plan. For that verification purpose, you will prepare each equipment specifically related validation protocols and reports. So in a typical manufacturing process, you will be having so many equipment. So these are all some simple example of equipments which are identified as a critical equipments. So autoclave, then vial washing machine or cartridge washing machine. So anything related to the primary packing material cleaning, that is a major part. Then through continuous sterilizing tunnel, you will actually depyrosinate these materials. Then under laminar airflow units, you will do manufacturing practices. And to this all required rooms, you will actually be connecting this air handling units. Then different transfer vessels, manufacturing vessels, different pumps, balances. CIP is a clean in place units. So integrity testings, filling machines. So each and every equipment which is directly associated with the manufacturing practices, your manufacturing process associated things, that will be identified as a critical equipment. So like that, we have from washing of the primary material to till end of the packing, you have a different equipment enlisted here. So these are all the typical critical equipments in case of a sterile injection facility. So these are all the equipments. So I'll instead of explaining each and every equipment, I'll just give you one or two examples on what basis you will decide the frequency of validation and on what basis you will decide the criticality of equipment. So as an example, if you take autoclave, so any equipment you take in your laboratory, you first list out what for the equipment is used. Then to do that actual usage process, what are all the your sub components connected to it, and what are all the parameters or key controllers for this process that you have to enlist. So if you say one autoclave, what is required in autoclave? You have to achieve temperature, you have to achieve certain pressure, and as per guidelines, you have to achieve equilibration time, and FO value is your lethality rate. So these are all the key core parameters. So first enlist any core parameters of your equipment, and based on the core parameters, you can decide your frequency of validation. So for some equipments, even the guideline itself, they say minimum requirement for qualifying. For some equipments, you can decide based on your usage, based on your process criticality, you will decide the frequency of validation. So as I told you, this autoclave we use actually for sterilizing the materials. So these are all some deep things related to sterilization. So if you see sterilization, you will verify by placing a biological indicator, and you will place some external thermocouples or sensors to verify whether the equipment is reaching that temperature, whether the biological spores are killed with your defined recipe set parameters. You will verify during this qualifications. So these are all some formulas to calculate the lethality. So this and all you will get even in guidelines. So these are all some additional processes which actually you will do to make sure that equipment is performing consistent. So you will do vacuum leak test. So you will make sure whatever pressure you have given inside that equipment, whether it is achieved and it is maintained or not. Through vacuum leak test, you will actually verify to make sure there are no leakages in the equipment. Then bovidic test is a key test for the any autoclave. So you will be having a standard test kit. So that standard test kit you have to place inside your autoclave, and you will run a small sterilization phase. So after sterilization, you will actually see whether your bovidic kit color has been changed or not. It is actually to prove your equipment is able to create proper vacuum and steam is able to penetrate properly or not. That you will actually verify during this bovidic test. So like this, any equipment in your laboratory you can take, and you can design your test saying what are all the critical parameters you will enlist, then what is the frequency you are going to do this test repeating. Then based on that, you can decide the periodical frequency to verify those equipments are in operational condition and whether they are performing consistency or not. That you will verify during this requalification. So as I told you, for the bovidic test, what is the acceptance criteria is it will actually uniformly change the color of this indicator. So for each test, you have to define what is the procedure and what is the acceptance criteria, and you will verify whether you achieved that criteria or not during performance qualification. The same thing you will actually do in the requalification also. But the difference between performance qualification and requalification is actually you will be doing same test during requalification, but in performance qualification you will do 3 times to make sure the equipment is giving consistent result. So these are all some parameters we have rationalized. What are all the critical parameters and what are all the acceptance criteria, and we have given rationale whether it is based on any guideline or it is based on your vendor recommendation or it is decided by your in-house specifications, means based on your factory premises. You will decide what is the range it can be maintained. So as I told you, in the same way, for the each equipment, you can identify what are all the critical parameters and what frequency you have to validate those equipments. So this weighing balance will be very useful to you. Weighing balance you will normally use even in your lab also. So in case of weighing balance, you can do this test. Like you can verify for repeatability, eccentricity, uncertainty, and linearity. So these are all the tests normally they do during weighing balance qualification. So in case of repeatability, you will do by giving the same weight at the same place, whether it is giving repeatably same result or not, you will verify in the repeatability. In case of eccentricity, the same weight you will place in different locations on balance, and you will verify the eccentricity. Even uncertainty, so how much percentage variability is there, that you will actually verify in the uncertainty. how you will do linearity test is, suppose you say you start keeping a smaller weight on weighing balance, then you place some 100 grams or something, then you place 200 grams, place 300 grams. So if you increase the weight, whether your weighing balance also is reading the weight exactly or not, you will verify in the linearity. So you will plot a graph, weight against actual weighing balance reading. So if you plot a graph, if it is giving linear curve, so you can say the weighing balance is working and it is in consistent validation program or not, you will verify this. So these are all, this is the linearity curve what I have told you. So in each process, you can verify these things, and you can decide at what percentage variability it can be done. Everything you can decide during your qualification program. So like you can take up any of your laboratory equipment, then you can prepare a validation program. First you have to prepare a MVP, master validation plan, saying what are all the equipment you are having in your facility. Then you decide what are all the critical parameters in those equipments and at what frequency you will verify. So you can prepare your own validation program. So with this, I'm finishing this presentation. So if you have any questions, please ask.
Dear participants, the panel is now open for discussion. If you want to ask any question to the speaker, you can drop in the question answer session, and YouTube viewers can drop in the chat box. Sir, join అవుతారా సార్? అక్కడ మీకు ఇప్పుడు లింక్ పెట్టాను, జాయిన్ అవ్వండి. నేను మిమ్మల్ని ప్యానలిస్ట్ కింద ప్రమోట్ చేస్తాను, అప్పుడు మీరు మాట్లాడతారు.
ఓకే ఓకే.
Yeah. You can ask questions regarding validation. Sir, before that, can you please, give some information or any idea to our students or participants as that they can get into industry? What is the prospects of this pharmaceutical industry to the students? Because you're already deputy manager and you're having almost 9 years experience in industry. Can you please give them in some information? So
Yeah,
how
the first thing actually, I don't want to specifically say regarding validation or some qualification related thing. So whatever specific subject you are in, like whether you are in pharmaceutics or any department, the thing is, when we recruit, what are all the key things people will see, I'll tell you. So if you improve those things, your recruitment process will be easy for you and you can easily get into industry. Only thing they will differentiate, like if we are taking interview for some 100 people, first thing we will see what is the difference between our selected person and the other person. So don't simply stick to any one thing saying just I am doing academics, just done like that. Please develop your own interest, and you can do some alternative programs, saying there are so many online classes regarding to qualifications, then regarding to quality personal qualification, So this kind of some online courses will be available. So try to do those courses. They will give you as a certified quality person, or if you have interest on some software or something, you learn something else other than your regular. So try to improve your academics in that way. So don't think whatever I am reading and whatever we will be doing in industry is different like that. Whatever you read, whatever you have learned in your lifetime, everything will be useful for you at some situation. Maybe as soon as you get into industry, it may not be useful. Some people, they say, yes, whatever I studied is different and what I am doing in industry is different, because the industry will give you some standard procedures to do all these things. There are entirely different like that. Some junior people, whoever joins, they think in that way, but it is wrong. Whatever you have learned, it will be useful for you in your career at certain point. So don't think and don't take it lightly. Not only your academics, please focus on some additional things where you can improve yourself, where you can make yourself special than compared to others. Yeah, please.
Thank you,
Any
Sandeep.
question?
Sandeep, this is Nawaz.
Nawaz sir.
Yeah, nothing. In Q&A, we have some questions here.
Yeah.
I'll just read out.
Yeah.
Qualification validation is both for industry equipment and lab equipment, or only industry equipment? He's asking like it is only for industry equipment or lab equipment?
It is not actually for the industry equipment. It is for the any equipment. If you are using for any process, if you want reliable results from equipment, you have to do validation and you have to prove first your equipment is perfect, then you can say your process is perfect.
Okay, so it is for any equipment which you are performing
Yes.
test.
That's why actually at the end I said they can prepare their own laboratory list of equipments as a master list, and they can prepare their own validation plan for any laboratory equipments.
Okay, Meghana is asking, where can we get information regarding this certified online courses, sir? Which are of good value?
Actually, if you see any thing related to FDA, this FDA related courses are more in this online thing. So I will share regarding some online courses informations to Nawaz sir and Pawan sir. So you can take this information from them.
Okay, and this is the common question raised by PharmD people. Is there any scope of PharmD graduate in industry?
Yes, it will be there, but as of now, in India, I should say, it is more focused on production, and slowly we are transforming into quality orientation kind of production. So previously in India, the rules and regulations were loose. So compared to US or compared to Europe, the Indian regulations are not that tighter, but slowly we are evolving into adaptation of those regulations into our facilities. So there will be a scope maybe in the future, but as of now, it is clearly focused only to the people exactly they have related or similar experience.
Okay, apart from this, I have one doubt regarding this PharmD people.
Yeah.
So we can say like if he get well versed in this, whatever the qualification you are asking.
Yeah.
He may be having the degree of PharmD, but if he is well in validation, he is well with well versed with the equipmentation and everything. If he can prove that in interview, he is worth for that. Can it be opportunity to join industry?
Yes, yes, always it will be there. That's why actually when they are doing like normally M.Pharm people, they do their training in industries. So even if they have to prove either the PharmD or anything, any person who is having science degree, they can prove in industry by joining as a industrial trainee. If you are giving your performance consistently, yes, always there will be scope for entering to any person into industry.
Yeah, into that
Yeah, it is
same, sir, whether
Yes.
M.Pharm second year students who are doing their project works will
Yeah.
have scope in Biocon to get as project trainees?
Yes, always there will be a scope. So even I am recruiting some trainees for different projects. So in Biocon especially, the project trainees will be limited to exactly 6 months. Previously, actually, we used to extend the training period, but currently it is exactly to the 6 months. So we can give them training. They can make their thesis work here. So there is always a scope. So you can be in touch with me. I'll share you regarding my requirements.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Sir, our college principal, sir, Dr. Padmam Reddy, sir, he is now in the meeting. He wants to make a word with you. Sir,
Yeah.
you can please talk, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
good morning, sir.
Hope you are doing fine. Okay. So you are residing in Bangalore? Huh?
Yes, I am in Bangalore, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much for joining with us for this online FDP program of 1 week program. Okay. So thank you for sparing your time and joining with us and enlightening our participants along with our faculty and also clarifying the doubts. And just when I was going through that your biodata, actually I observed that you are from Kadapa, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm also native of Kadapa, basically from
Oh.
Kazipet. What about
Okay.
from where you are? Kadapa particularly? Town or something?
I am in Kadapa city only, sir.
Kadapa city, no?
Yes.
Exact location, sir?
Near PF office.
Oh, near PF office. Okay.
Yeah. My father is a professor in Kadapa. So he retired recently. He worked in SV Degree College.
Oh, SV Degree College. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Sir, your father name?
CV Subbanna.
Okay. I heard. Actually, I worked with P. Ramareddy Memorial College of Pharmacy from 97 to 2001 there as principal.
Okay.
Later it was closed down and then we were forced to start our own institute at Anantapur, and this was started in the year 2002.
Okay.
So when you did your B.Pharm and M.Pharm from JSS?
I started in 2004 in JSS B.Pharm.
Okay.
Then in 2011 ending, I have finished my M.Pharm.
Okay.
So Nawaz sir is my senior.
Oh, fine.
So when I was in B.Pharm, he was in M.Pharm.
Okay.
And actually he guided me a lot in so many things. Actually, the other curriculums, whatever I have improved, is learnings from him.
Okay. After finishing of your B.Pharm, you worked with industry for some time.
Up to 11 months, because I did B.Pharm in Rajiv Gandhi University.
Okay,
So my college, it was under Rajiv Gandhi University.
Yeah.
So later it became Deemed University. So Rajiv Gandhi University, December it will end the financial year.
Okay.
So till June, July, I have worked in some industry.
Okay, fine. So thank you very much, sir. And I think I would like to request you, because this college is located in rural sector, and if you can help our students to some extent by providing this internship or something like that to carry on.
Surely, sir. Surely will.
Please, because Biocon is doing a wonderful job in pharma sector. And our students are also working with Biocon. Some of our students are also working with Biocon, but they are not at senior level. They are not at senior level.
Okay.
And, I found that you are working as deputy manager. So I think if you feel that you can do something, that's what.
Surely, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity to talk and in this forum. I sincerely thank Padmanabha sir, then my senior Nawad sir and Pawan sir providing me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We should say thanks for you, sir, because in spite of your hectic schedule, you have make your time to be with us on this particular day. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, then fine, sir.
Dear participants, a small announcement for you. Today afternoon, we are going to have session starting at 2 o'clock, and following the session, we'll be having valedictory. So I request you all to be available by 2 o'clock. And as per the request of different participants, till today afternoon 3 p.m., I am keeping all the feedback forms from day 1 to day 5 open. So you can, as you are already having that links, you can fill that and send them to us. Thank you. We'll be back at 2 o'clock. Thank you, Sandeep sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Pawan, have you announced who is the chief guest for this valedictory function?
Yes, shall I announce, sir?
You can announce, no problem.
Yeah.
You can.
For today's valedictory function, we are having Dr. Ramanamurthy, who is Principal and Professor, AU College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, as a chief guest. So I request you all to attend and take his voice, ideas of suggestion, and make the valedictory function a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pawan.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you, sir.